Hey, any of these sound familiar?
People don't change.
I will never change.
It is too late for me.
You're too old. You are one pathetic loser.
And that's all you'll ever be.
I'm stuck here forever.
Our brains are really good at coming up with lies about how we can't change or it's too late to even try. And if you're experiencing this, it's time to change your relationship with your thoughts. And when you change your relationship with your thoughts, you can literally change your brain.
Now I feel cleansed.
That's what we explore in today's Tiny Tips. Tiny tips to help you rewrite your brain stories and rewire your brain so you could do more of the stuff you want to be doing. I'm Jocelyn, brain coach, and today's Tiny Tip, change your relationship with your thoughts. In the 1990s, the Dalai Lama came to the United States to witness a brain surgery, and he thought, if physically altering the brain can change how a person thinks, can the reverse be true? Can changing your thoughts create physical changes in the brain? He was basically met with,
"No, my brain hurts!"
But the last few decades have shown the Dalai Lama was onto something. And look, it wasn't that long ago that scientists thought adult brains don't change at all, let alone through your thoughts. But we now know that neurons are being created and connecting in new ways well into your 70s. We can learn and acquire new skills and regenerate our brains even when physically damaged. I learned this firsthand when my dad had a stroke in 2004 when he was 59. He had lost his ability to speak after a blood clot traveled from his heart up to the Broca area of his brain and broke some neuronal connections between how he thinks thoughts and how he translates those thoughts into words he can say out loud. After repeated practice and persistence and patience, he was able to regain his ability to speak and tell dad jokes.
It seemed to be right for my brain, I guess.
That's what opened up my brain to the whole world of neuroscience and neuroplasticity. The fact that we all have the capacity to reshape and rewire our brains at any age, no matter what's happening to us, even with your thoughts. Dr. Jeffrey M. Schwartz spent his entire career treating OCD patients. He even showed Leonardo DiCaprio how to become a person with an OCD brain for his role in The Aviator.
Show me all the blueprints. 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 Show me all the
An OCD brain makes people feel like they're hijacked by thoughts that they know are unhelpful and yet feel helpless against stopping them. They have overactive brain circuitry between habit and reward. And while they're coming up with all of these unwanted thoughts, their brain is activating a dopamine drip to reward this known behavior. A lot of us can relate to having unwanted, unhelpful, unproductive thoughts. And the point is not to get rid of them. It's about bringing attention and awareness to them so you could choose a new direction to create a new habit reward circuitry. And like recovering from a stroke, this doesn't happen overnight. But Schwartz published and replicated his findings showing that
when we did 4-step cognitive behavioral mindfulness treatment, we changed the relationship in real living people's brains, demonstrated by brain imaging, between the error detection section of the brain and the habit section of the brain. We unlocked a brain lock between those two areas.
In a Toronto University study, Dr. Mayberg and colleagues found similar results on depressed patients. They split these patients into two groups. One group learned how to change their relationships with their thoughts. The other group was prescribed antidepressant medication.
Why are you like this?
Pills, baby!
Both groups recovered, but here's the interesting thing. When scientists looked at these patients' brains under fMRI scanners, they noticed that different changes were occurring in different regions. Patients who learned how to change their thinking and their relationship with their thinking had muted overactivity in the frontal cortex, the seat of reasoning, logic, analysis, and higher thought. But the antidepressant raised activity there. In the thinking-based group, there was heightened activity in the brain's emotional circuitry, whereas in the group who took the antidepressants, the activity there was muted. Dr. Mayberg says that the brain rewires itself to adopt different thinking circuits. And this isn't to say that merely changing your thoughts and your relationship to them is some cure-all for everything. Everyone's brain works differently, and some people might need different medical interventions. But as Dr. Jeffrey Schwartz says, your brain becomes what you focus on and how you focus. And maybe the Dalai Lama was onto something when he said, just one positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. If you want to start changing your brain stories and your relationships with your thoughts, you could start with this free tool I made right here. A lot of people found it helpful. Now go think better. What do you think, kitty? She likes it.